the office with me, Kerry Ray, coming to you from Wellesley Studios here at the Tempo office. I have with me Kelly Nash, choreographer extraordinaire, who is working on a work that will be presented in Tempo this year. Half of a little mini double bill that we've put together called Between Two, and it is between Kelly Nash and Douglas Wright. And so Kelly's here today to talk a little bit about her work, what she's working on, and what we can expect to see. Because I think this show is, I'm actually really excited about the show, because I do love the fact that it's just this little mini, like, it's this very intimate experience that we're putting together.
Yeah, I think, and it's also really, I think, easy for people to access. Like a lot of people I've gone, it's just 30 minutes of your life, you can come in and experience this dancing, especially for people who can't commit to kind of maybe the length of time in case they don't like it.
Exactly. It's only 30 minutes in case you don't like it, really. But I think you will like it. And we're limiting the seating to only 20 seats, so it is a very intimate experience. It's in the Vault at Q Theatre. It's on multiple times during the festival because it's this little show. So it's on Fridays and Saturdays of both weeks in the festival. So there's plenty of opportunity. However, a lot of them are selling out. So, but that's good. There's a good demand to see all.
No, it's definitely one worth booking for, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Of, the nature of it and also the calibre of the artist.
The calibre of the artist, indeed, the calibre of the artist. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing, My Inner Sound.
Yeah, so it's a progression of a work I made last year, which was a work commissioned by Atameda for one of their full-length programs, and that was an exploration around processes of dying.
Atameda, it was called.
Yeah, it was self-titled Atameda, which means platform for the dead. So it was a re-exploration of the word Atameda as a real platform for the dead, rather than a platform for dance, which has been previously contemporized for. And so it's a follow on. So I've got the artists Nancy and Millie who were in the work. So Nancy is performing as a dancer, and Millie is a sound artist.
Now, if any of you have not seen Millie Grant perform, she'll blow you away. She's amazing. She's like a vocal artist, and she can make. I mean, she's a beautiful singer. I've heard her just sing before, but she can make these really incredible vocalizations, unlike anything I've ever heard before. Like she's like a channeler. She really channels.
Yeah, I mean, she works as a healer, and she's an extremely spiritual person, and also culturally very diverse within herself. So I think she's able to not only exist in Te Ao Māori, but connect to many aspects of different cultures, and I think that reflects in her voice. So the use of many different vocal sounds, which I think is more quite worldly or
otherworldly.
So that's really lovely to have her back again, and she's just had another baby.
Oh, she has, yes, that's right. It's a little boy.
Yes, so because that also, so that after we were trying to organise rehearsals, because it's always in amongst the rest of our lives, so she wasn't able to come through the whole process, so then I brought Italia, which is a new graduate from Unity, who nicely ties in because she was in Douglas's work last year. She did knee dance.
So part of the limbs, for the limbs limbs 40 at limbs at 40. That's what it was called. I remember her performing in that. So that is a nice tie, and she's had a bit of experience with sort of like kind of Douglas work, and then coming in.
And because we played the same role.
Wow.
So it was. I feel like, and I was really looking for someone who could be me, because Nancy and Millie, I could just get them on stage and they just themselves amazing. So I really wanted to make sure that my voice, which is kind of coming into the title, was there or present. And so I felt like Italia, I saw some commonality between us that I was able to help express myself through, which is awesome. So this work, as in terms of the follow through from Atamira, which was a process of leading up to someone dying, and that kind of ritual. That's finished, and the follow through is that space or that vacancy of loss. So that was my initial thought about where I was going to next, and then I was thinking about where I experienced loss or vacancy or space of someone, because when someone dies they just kind of disappear.
Yeah, it's like a void.
Yeah, it's a void, and you don't know where they are. But even in real life, people can do that.
Yes, without having
without
to die.
dying.
Yeah. Yes, they can just leave, and then there's
So for me, I think that closest experience was my dad, not having my dad in my life. So he was always this kind of vacant presence that I was always navigating around and projecting onto others in my experiences.
Yeah, and you talk about like a vacancy, and sometimes like we talk about a void, but sometimes if people aren't there in a space, there's like the space is still filled, but it's a different kind of matter that's in it, I suppose. Because sometimes like when I think about people who I've lost in my life, and I feel like it's not a void, it's actually like there's something there, but it's not them.
Yeah.
It's a, I don't know, like it's a, I don't know what you would call it really. It's
like
taking up space, and you feel it, but it's...
And sometimes it's like a what if they were there, or, because what I find is it manifests into my other relationships, so especially in my masculine relationships. So that's why I kind of went there, because Douglas is a strong masculine role model for me, and in terms of my career, and I've had a long-term relationship from when I first saw his work when I was 15.
Which work of his did you see?
So I saw Hell on Earth.
Ah.
Yeah, don't know. Which was like revolutionary, because I came from a very ballet background.
Yeah.
And this other man, he introduced me to this show, and I probably wouldn't have seen it otherwise, because I was quite sheltered in terms of my family. So, and immediately when I saw it, I was like, I can do that. I like totally identified with his expression, and also the risk taking and the emotional capacity to. Because I was quite a silent child, I'm still working on my communication skills, but I was quite a quiet person. So seeing the ability to express yourself without words.
So powerfully, because that work is amazing. I mean, I remember seeing that work and being like, whoa, like it was quite incredible.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they protested and all the things. And, it was like nudity. Oh my god.
Exactly. But then look. But it's always work like that has to lay the groundwork for other things to happen. And now, like, people can go on stage and nobody cares if they're nude or if they're like doing something that isn't considered, sort of pretty dance or whatever.
Definitely progressed.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Yeah. So that's really cool that there's that connection with you and Douglas, because you danced with him in Wrapped as well. Were you in that show as well?
Inland. I did a black milk. And originally in Black Milk, I was behind the puppet, because my kids had just been born.
Yes,
so I wasn't up to much dancing, so I was manipulating the puppet in Black Milk, and then I got to do Claire Solo in Sydney, and then then we did.
And then you did
Wrapped. Yeah.
So you have this really great connection with Douglas anyway.
Absolutely. So that's where I came to looking at these masculine figures in my life, and how my relationships have built from this, what I'm looking for, in terms of what I didn't experience in terms of having a father. Yeah, so and
that's very it's very heavy content. But and even Atamira, when I saw Atamira late last year at Alec Corbin's, which I loved, by the way, it was amazing. There was it has these themes of death and coping with death, but the work itself isn't. There's a lightness to it. It's not.
Absolutely.
Like, I think a lot of people might think that a work about death or about dying or about these kind of absences would be quite dark and depressing, but the work was actually very light and very joyous.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I have because you're still creating the work actually. So
Yeah,
that's what's also really great about it, is it's another process of putting it together again. So
Yeah.
do you feel that you can find these sort of moments of lightness and quite heavy sort of subject matter? Or?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, theatre has to uplift, and it's about creating a vision that you can't see in the mundane. You know, so that's its skill. You know, when you're able to transform, because you're asking people to see something as, you know, believe in something that's actually not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it always has to lift you out of these kind of more heavier times of just existing. So I suppose in terms of Artemida work, I really, you know, because life was already heavy, so I really wanted to have hope and, you know, create this a vision where I could like enjoy living. Because in the end, it's like, the question becomes, do you want to live? You know, or how are you living? So so in terms of, that's always, I think, how I relate to putting things on stage, because it's got all those things that you can use, like illusion and
because you use such amazing imagery on stage. Like your work is very theatrical as well, and because I've seen lots of your other stuff, because I'm a bit of a fan of Kelly Nash. So being able to use those things outside of just like what a sort of conventional dance show is. I mean, they're very theatrical, and they're very. It's like Flair's, it's that magic, it's that illusion on stage, and it really brings a kind of absurdity to it in a lot of ways, and a real kind of like it's quite magical, and I don't want to say whimsical, because that's not the right word, but there is like like fake believe. We've been using that a lot actually for another show that's in the festival, but I love that, like fake believe, and being able to create something very imaginative that goes beyond just a movement quality.
Yeah. Well, it's like you have to believe in the lie that the artist is telling you, in a way to transcend.
You have to believe in the lie in order to get to the truth, I think.
You
know? You do.
Yeah.
Wow, I have to write that down. I'm going to coin that phrase. You have to believe in the lie in order to get to the truth, because I think that really kind of sums it up nicely.
Yeah, I think this work I'm thinking it's more like a surrealist kind of exploration, because I feel it's a bit more in that dreamlike space.
Yeah.
Because often I'm looking, like, you know, we have our things that we already know in life, so why are you making art anyway? I find is often it's like that, where you're trying to understand something through metaphor or explore something that is unconscious. You know, so you're kind of just grappling for these pieces of the puzzle, and you're forming this thing, which is slightly surreal because it's not a fact or something. It's not something that you know about. So I think that goes back to that space with my dad. Like, so what is this space or this vacancy? It's kind of this something that I'm dealing with, that I'm trying to piece together to make meaningful for myself and move on, hopefully.
And move on.
Yeah, move on.
I love it, because it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, as an artist, and this isn't true for every artist, but you know, I feel like a lot of artists create things to work through things.
Yeah.
That's just kind of part of it, I suppose. And so being able to put this out and to explore these ideas and to have it kind of manifest itself is a way of working through, you know, thoughts, feelings, and, you know, memories and emotions and whatnot.
But I think you can't deny your own inner impulse, and whether that the work's going to actually be that is something else, because I find you have to have your thing that you know, that you're subconsciously, or your own little agenda, you know, like once you know that. But then once it goes into form, or once, you know, Nancy and Natalia and Millie start capturing, it becomes its own thing, which I think that's for the audience, so that they are both interacting with your inner world and their own, that they can.
And those connections that are made between the audience and the work as well. Cool. I'm really excited because, I mean, like with Millie and Nancy and Natalia, and of course yourself, it's like this quite powerful female force to be reckoned with, which is really great. Because it also juxtaposes quite nicely with Douglas's work, which Douglas has created and Sean McDonald is performing. So you've got this male and female kind of counterpoint to one another.
And I think we both like the sexuality of the male and the female form is quite fluid, you know, because even I know with the costuming of Sean, there's that, you know, the femininity within that and his masculinity, and I think some of the, you know, Nancy definitely can travel between quite strong masculine qualities and female. So I think that's also a lovely connection between both of our, I mean, obviously because we're both queer, Douglas and I, so there's always that content in it.
So, Between Two, which is on the Fridays and Saturdays of both weeks of the festival, a variety of times. That's going to be really, because there's one day when y'all have like 3 performances in a row, so that'll be fun. Whose idea was that? I don't know. But so thank you, Kelly. Thanks for coming in and talking to us. And go to the website tempo.co.nz. You can check it out about times and dates for shows. And thanks for joining us in the tiny office. Thank you for coming, Kelly. Thanks for chatting about us. And we'll see you later.